Ladies, are you struggling to lose weight? Today, I'm going to be sharing with you the best ways to lose weight if you're a woman. I have 5 unconventional tips just for you. Hi there! For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Sheila Viers, and I help women to break free from yo-yo dieting and self-sabotage so they can rock their dream body and feel amazing in their skin. And today, I want to talk about weight loss, and specifically, what happens when one thing after another continues to derail your weight loss results. So maybe you're intuitively eating and you're trying to fuel your body really well, but you're just not getting the results that you're looking for physically on the outside. Or maybe you're finding that you're binge eating a lot more than usual, or maybe you're just feeling like you're turning to food for comfort more than you'd like. Or maybe it's something more of a surface type issue. So maybe you're just not motivated to work out. You're not motivated to eat healthy. Maybe even you're traveling a lot or entertaining a lot, or your schedule's just really busy right now. Today, I'm going to share 5 unconventional tips that you probably have never heard before unless you've been watching my videos for a while about how to lose weight. Number 1, start paying more attention to what and why you're eating. So let's talk about the why first. I want you to start paying attention to what's going on for you emotionally. So do you have emotional stressors that are triggering you to eat more or differently than what you would consider to be optimal for health or for achieving your physical goals? Also, I want you to start paying attention to if you tend to go into mindless eating mode. So what that means is basically when you sit down to eat something, you just kind of turn into this like workhorse that just keeps eating and eating. And if you really get honest with yourself, you start to recognize that you're not eating to fuel your body in those sorts of circumstances. You're eating to distract, numb out, or really just sort of fill a void inside with the comfort that food can sometimes give us. In terms of what you're eating, I want you to start paying attention to your meals throughout the day. And you might even want to keep a food journal for a few days or even a week so that you can take a look at what types of things you're eating over the course of an extended period of time. So once you start getting this visual picture of what it is that you're actually eating, you can start to see where the blocks are. So maybe you need to eat more earlier in the day. Maybe you're not fueling your body well enough early in the day and you find that you tend to have a lot of cravings in the evening. Maybe you're not eating enough vegetables. Maybe you're not getting enough fiber. Maybe you're eating too many sugary foods and that's sending your blood sugar on this roller coaster. Here's the thing that I really want you to start paying attention to. Food is not the enemy. Sugar is not the enemy. It's our relationship with, as silly as that sounds, and our behaviors with food that are ultimately what are most detrimental to our health. Here's what I want you to start noticing. Food is not the problem. Sugar is not the enemy. Food is our friend, as silly as that sounds, and it's our relationship with food and our behaviors around it, our patterns of behavior that ultimately block our success with our weight loss and can ultimately block our optimal health. So really this is like saying to sugar, it's me, not you, meaning I'm taking responsibility for my health. I'm taking responsibility for my behaviors. And once you take responsibility for that, that's when you can find true freedom and really your ideal body weight. Number 2, shift from a mindset of restriction and deprivation over to a mindset of self-discovery and self-love. Have you ever really thought about your body as this vessel that you get to walk around this planet in? Think about it. This is the one and only body that you've got. So you probably want to nourish it really well and take really good care of it. Your body is there for you every single day. It supports you. Every single night as you sleep, it breathes and your heart beats and you don't even have to tell it to. You know, we tend to be really hard on our bodies and we kind of beat them up. And for the most part, most of us are doing pretty well in the grand scheme of things, right? So rather than guiding yourself by this motivation of hitting a certain number on the scale or like squeezing your body into a certain pair of jeans, I want you to start recognizing that this truly can be a journey of self-discovery and self-love. Because honestly, who carries around a scale with them and shows everyone, ooh, look how much I weigh. Hey everyone, look at how much I weigh today. Aren't you impressed? It's really funny how we guide our actions by something as silly as what the scale says. Just recently, I had an appointment with my doctor's office, and you know how they get you on the scale at the beginning of your visit. So I got on the scale, and the nurse started moving the little scale thing. They still have that kind of a scale along the balance thingy, whatever that is. I don't even know what to call it. But he started moving it along, and he started way on like the lower end of the spectrum. He thought that I weighed a lot less than I do, and he had to go all the way to when he finally hit what my weight was. And it's so funny to me that in the past, this would have really upset me. It would have sent me into this spiral of needing to diet and get back down because I weigh more than what I think I should or what this person thinks that I should. But ultimately, I see it now as this silly thing where it really is about how you look and feel in your body. It has nothing to do with what the scale says. What does it really matter? If you feel vibrant and alive, then ultimately our weight really has nothing to do with it. So I want you to start expanding your perspective of what it ultimately means to be at your leanest body weight, to be at that body that truly allows you to walk around this planet feeling confident and alive. And this is what we talk about in all of my programs and what I teach to my clients. And when my clients have this sort of perspective shift, it's almost like an aha, where they finally get it, that they're like, oh my gosh, it's not about getting there so that I can feel the way that I want to feel about myself. It's about feeling that way that I want to feel, like feeling alive, feeling amazing in my skin today on my way to whatever physical goals that I'm setting for myself. And when you really understand that, it opens up this whole world of possibility. Because then it's not like feeling the way that you want to feel is out there in the future. You can have it now, and then you can set goals for your body, for your life, from this mindset of self-love and self-discovery. It makes everything so much more fun, so much more effortless. It ties into this idea of what I talk about. When you release the stress of not being there yet, and you release the stress of feeling not good enough, and you truly start to embody the woman who has the body of her dreams, who has the life of her dreams, you diffuse your resistance around it. You feel better about who you are today. You feel more positive and excited about life, and then it allows your body to click in and start working with you rather than against you, which is what often can happen. So this is my signature approach to nourishing our way towards our dream body. And really, we all get to define what the term dream body means for us individually. So within this structured freedom approach, you get to define and customize what sort of plan and guidelines ultimately align with your preferences, your lifestyle, and how you want to feel in your body. So I've talked about this pendulum swing before, where we have structure on one end and pure freedom on the other. So a lot of times if we have too much structure, it feels like restriction and deprivation. And if we have too much freedom, it feels unsafe. And we have to find where it is that we fall at inside of this pendulum swing, whether it means that you have a little bit more structure or that you're comfortable with a little more freedom, in order to feel safe, like you're secure, and you're able to experiment and totally have the freedom in your life that you desire. So I want to be really clear about what this non-diet approach to weight loss really means. It does not mean to release all guidelines and fly off the wagon completely, because what's going to happen is that's going to trigger you into feeling unsafe, and then you're going to feel like you need to go all the way back to that restrictive and deprivation type of a mindset or type of a diet in order to get the results that you want. But the huge elephant in the room is that we all know that most restrictive and deprivation-based plans are not sustainable. So our goal, our focus, even though it will take a little bit longer and you're not going to have overnight results like you might on a very restrictive deprivation-based plan, I want you to focus on ultimately what is the plan, the customized plan that you will be able to stick to for the long term? So maybe your physical results, the weight loss comes a little bit slower, or maybe in the beginning you don't have weight loss while you're trying to figure out what that customized plan looks like for you, but then eventually things click into place, you totally get this different approach, you get this mindset, and then the weight just starts to come off almost in an effortless way, way easier than it has in the past. So let's talk about a real life example. Maybe in the past, your solution to losing weight is to cut out all sugar and cut out all carbs for a period of time so that you can hit a certain goal weight on the scale, maybe before a big event or before the summer so you can look good in your bikini. And so you went to this very restrictive type of a mindset or type of a program. So again, being very realistic, I know for myself, I'm probably going to have sugar again. I'm probably going to have carbs again. I'm probably going to have an alcoholic beverage or whatever the case may be. So for me, it's not really realistic to go to that extreme, because once I introduce those foods back into my lifestyle and maybe I have that big event where I do have alcohol or cake, if it's a wedding or something like that, then your body is not going to know how to handle those foods because it's been a while since you've had them, right? You probably restricted them from anywhere from 4 weeks to 8 weeks or more. So your body freaks out, and what happens? Well, it retains a lot of water, and sometimes it will retain fat too because it's kind of freaking out. It's like, I don't know what to do with this. What's happening? This is foreign to me. So I need to protect myself and I need to hang on to everything. I'm sure you've experienced that, especially if you have done these very restrictive diets. What do you do instead? Well, instead of cutting out all sugar and all carbs, I encourage you to incorporate them into your food lifestyle and the way that you're eating in moderation, in amounts that feel good to you. And I talk about this a lot on my website and in my programs. I call it your 3 non-negotiables. And what that means is, related to food, you have 3 foods that you need to have incorporated into your meal plans and in your food lifestyle in order to feel satisfied and not deprived. And so this is very different for each person. Maybe for you, that's 1 to 2 servings of a low-fat ice cream every single night, or even a few times a week. Or maybe that's having a square of dark chocolate. Or maybe it's half a banana with some peanut butter dipped in unsweetened cocoa. Or maybe it's a couple glasses of wine every week. Or it could be a protein bar every night as your sweet treat. I want you to get really honest with yourself about what life looks like on the other side of this goal, and get realistic about how you want to be able to show up in your life, the things that you want to do, the foods that you enjoy eating, and incorporate that into your plan now. I promise you, this is going to get you what you want in the long term. You want sustainability. You do not want quick results that ultimately you're not going to be able to maintain. So let's take that point even further with number 4. Number 4 is be honest with yourself. Here's the thing. I talk about your 3 non-negotiables. I talk about having these different foods incorporated in moderation, but ultimately you have to get really honest with yourself about what is the next logical step for you in your own unique journey. So one of the things that comes up very often for my clients is related to having peanut butter in the house, or maybe having cookies in the house. So for you, if you have tried to incorporate them into your food plan, if you've tried to have peanut butter once a day or cookies, but that's a trigger food for you, and ultimately what happens is when you have that trigger food, you end up binging on all kinds of stuff, then ultimately that's not helpful, or that's not serving you in ultimately hitting your goal and feeling the way that you want to feel right now, right? Most times when we have a binge, the next thing that happens is we feel guilt and shame, and we become a mean girl to ourselves. And that is not helpful. It creates all kinds of stress in the body, emotional stress, which ultimately slows your body down and does not help you to metabolize and digest food properly. So it causes all kinds of other problems. That's the gist. So if that's what's showing up for you, then know yourself and fall more on this, a little more structure side of the pendulum swing. So maybe for you right now, you remove peanut butter from your household, you remove cookies from your house, and you do the emotional work in the meantime. You work on yourself, you get yourself to that empowered place, you heal that stuff, the baggage that you've been carrying around for a really long time, and you get yourself into that empowered state so that then later on you can experiment with having some peanut butter, you can experiment with having a cookie, and you can see if it is still the trigger food that it was for you in the past. And I will tell you, this has been true for me, this has been true for many of my clients, where in the beginning we had those particular trigger foods that at first you might need to abstain from, but ultimately through self-discovery and self-love, you can come back to them as the empowered woman who can handle the life of her dreams, who is not controlled by food, who does not use food for comfort. She uses food to enjoy life, but ultimately she is not attached to it, and it's a much different relationship with that food than what you had in the past. So again, just to reaffirm, if you choose to abstain from having a certain food or food group or whatever it is, make sure that you are making that decision from a mindset of self-love and self-discovery, not from a mindset of deprivation, because that will never serve you in the long run. And number 5, stop worrying about it. There's an Abraham Hicks quote that goes, "Worrying is just using your imagination to create something in the future that you don't want." So here is my loving nudge to you. If you know that you have been obsessive about food in your body, if you weigh yourself on a daily basis and it makes you feel really crappy, if you have been Googling the latest and greatest diet plans or trying these very extreme things so that you can get to that number on the scale so that you can feel the way that you want to feel, we've got to flip this switch. We've got to get you out of this mode of chasing something that's out there and really getting into your body, appreciating where you are right now, loving the skin that you're in, and approaching any physical goal that you have from this mindset of nourishment and self-love. I know how crazy that sounds when you are in a space of really not loving your body, not loving yourself, feeling like all you can think about is the chub around your waist, or maybe, how your butt is bigger than it used to be, or your face is rounder than it used to be. I totally get it. I have been there. And I also want you to know that I know what it's like to get on the other side of that, and to not have that obsessive relationship with your body or feeling like you have to change so that you can feel the way that you want to feel. So I invite you to take a pause from weighing yourself, take a pause from Googling, take a pause for looking for those results day after day after day, because it is blocking your results. It's creating emotional stress, like I said, and this is such a huge part of the equation that nobody pays attention to. Studies actually show that stress messes with your body's ability to properly assimilate and metabolize and digest food optimally. So think about it like this. You could eat the healthiest food in the world. Maybe it's this giant kale salad with all of these superfoods and berries in it. But if you are stressed out while you're eating it, and you're stressed out on a regular basis, your body is not going to be able to digest and assimilate and metabolize that salad properly. You're basically shooting yourself in the foot. So what if you were able to remove the emotional stress tied to looking for results too soon? Getting on the scale and then feeling really crappy about yourself all day long when you don't see the number that you want to see. What if you stopped weighing yourself for a month and you freed your body up from that stress so that it could work like that well-oiled machine that it truly can be when it's not in this fight or flight mode that we create through emotional stress? Focus on self-love and nourishment over the results, and I promise you, over time, you will get the results that you want. I know that I keep saying that, but I gotta be repetitive because I'm trying to get through layers and layers and layers of stuff, that beliefs that you have built up over time that have been telling you the opposite. Okay, so now I have a bonus pro tip for you, and that is find a community of women who desire this level of body and food freedom too. You do not have to restrict and deprive yourself in order to lose weight. And I know, again, like I said, that is the opposite of what you hear across the media and everywhere else. It's the opposite of what most people are doing. So you need to find a community of women who are committed to this too, who want body confidence, who want to feel amazing in their skin, who know the freedom that is on the other side of this work. And the best place for you to find that is in my private free Facebook group that you can find if you just go on Facebook and search for Rock Your Dream Body and Dream Life, or you can find it at the link sheilaviers.com/FB. This community of women is so committed to this and so supportive and so caring and so willing to cheer each other on and to be willing to shine the light on those dark places, to talk about those things that a lot of people are just not willing to talk about. But when we do, it releases so much emotional baggage and frees us up to really step into that woman who can handle the life of her dreams. What? That's what I'm committed to, and I know that if you're still watching this video, you are too. So I would love to welcome you into our private community on Facebook. Beyond that, if you have not already, make sure that you are signed up for my free video series where I talk about the ins and outs of breaking free from yo-yo dieting and body jail, which is what I call this, restrictive body obsessive relationship, so that you can step into body freedom, step into your confidence, and truly feel amazing in your skin today on your way to whatever physical goals you set for yourself from that mindset of self-discovery and self-love. Doesn't it just feel so good to give yourself permission to think about it like that? So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it on YouTube, share it with a friend that you know would benefit from this message, and I would love to hear from you in the private community as well. Let me know your biggest takeaway, your biggest aha from this video. And make sure to subscribe on YouTube so that you never miss one of my weekly videos. Take care, and I will see you next week. Oh, my crystal ball, tell me what I want to hear today. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so that you can't see the light in the back.